All right, today I'm Meet the Neighborhood. We're going to talk to my friend Dave Avery, who came into my life about 12 years ago, I think, something like that.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It's
Yeah.
11 years anyway. And Dave trained me in fitness for a while, and I learned the joy, pleasure, and horror of leg day is what I learned. Uh, Dave, if anybody has trained with Dave, they know anything about Dave and his fitness background. Leg day is your favorite and worst day of the month. Is that still correct?
Oh, it is. Actually, I just love training legs. I just do, right? So everybody remembers their very first leg day with me. We actually have a bumper sticker that says "I hate Dave, but I love the results," as I
Uh,
think you've seen it.
the
Yeah.
first time I did leg day with you at the Y, I almost fell down the stairs coming back down the back hallway.
Yeah.
That's not a word of a lie. For those that aren't familiar with Dave and his career, he is one of the top fitness trainers, I want to say, in Canada, because you've been nominated now. Is it twice or three times?
Well, two times I won. I was nominated top three in Canada, Canada Camp Fit Pro Fitness Professional of the Year, and I won. I was three times International Trainer of the Year. Yeah. Yeah.
So that explains why you charge me $6 a session. Fitness obviously is what you do as a career. It's become part of your lifestyle. Your wife Julie is a nutritionist. You guys have made it the family business, and that's my golden retriever popping in the background here. Before we get to everything in the fitness world and sort of the contributions and what that's brought into your life here in our area, what was life like before fitness for you? What were you doing as a career or a job? And let's start back there and sort of move into your fitness journey and how it got. Where were you before fitness?
Oh wow! Well, I've always been in fitness and involved in sports and school and stuff like that. But I worked at people know it as CPK now, or I think it was Textron way back, or Davison Rubber. I worked there. I started there when I was actually 17, and I worked there until I think 2021. And I basically kind of grew up in that place, and as you do, and it is very much kind of like it was a family, and we kind of always day in day out. I just did what I did, and then I realized, well, you know what, this has been great, and it was a good paying job, and I loved what I did, but I didn't feel like I was fulfilling my passion and my authentic life. What I was meant to do.
So I'm going to take 1 second. Let me just close the door. My golden retriever keeps opening the door. Hold on. Sorry about that. So you're at CPK and it's a good paying job. Things are going well. What's your introduction to fitness and what ignited that spark that moved you on the path you are on today?
Okay, so I'd already been working there for several years, and I'd been lifting pretty heavy. I did some, I was getting into some powerlifting, bodybuilding, strongman stuff, and I had a pretty massive injury. I tore my bicep, and so what happened at that point, I kind of ballooned up to about 230 pounds, and I was like, wow, this is not a good situation. So I decided I was going to make that change. And again, like in UFE, when we have our event, we have like a 90-day challenge. So I decided to sign up for one of these 90-day challenges. At that time, it's called Body for Life. And it was actually the first transformational event that was around. And so he did a before picture and after picture. And if you won, the guy, Bill Phelps, was the guy that he worked for EAS. He said, the winner's going to get my Lamborghini. And what happened was that so many people got involved in it. It was huge. And by 2001, he started I think it was 88, but by 2001, there was 60,000 people that would do this Body for Life show. And me and Julie decided to enter that. And so I dropped 44 pounds in 12 weeks. And then
so you entered the show you signed the paperwork to sign up for the show at 2:30.
Yeah. So I dropped 44 pounds for the Body for Life. And then at the same time I signed up for a bodybuilding show, I just continued right over and dropped in 67 pounds at 200. Yeah. So that was kind of my introduction. And people that saw a transformation go on and saw me lose so much weight, they're like, wow, what are you doing? Can I train with you? And I thought, you know what, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it right. So I went back to school, and both me and Julie became personal trainers. Right. That was kind of the intro.
So what was the difference that you noticed in your body from going from 230 down 44 pounds, then down 67 pounds or whatever it was? What kind of transformation did you notice? Because you did that with me a long time ago.
Yeah.
And I was just amazed at what the body could do.
Oh, it's so cool. And this is why I why I still do bodybuilding today. I love the transformations. I love seeing people's positive change, not in their body, but also in their mindset. And me and Julie have said this time and time again, not that our marriage was ever in trouble. We've always been strong, but that very first Body for Life challenge, it really connected us together. You know, we would prep our meals together, we'd train, we'd even plan our cheat days together, go to the ballpark, we'd have our little cups with little treats and stuff like that. So it was really a growth experience more so than a transformational, because as much as our bodies changed, our internal relationships did as well, right? So
Where did you meet Jules?
club in Belleville. We were both kind of dancers.
The old-fashioned way.
I didn't know if you guys do that. Yeah, so I was kind of like hip hop, and she was ballet, and we met down there, and actually we won a reggae contest.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, so she had done ballet for like 18 years, and she was just beautiful, and I was like, you know, so it was just it just clicked.
And you won a reggae contest.
Yeah, yeah. It was this club.
Does anybody else see the irony of that? If you two winning a reggae contest?
I know. It's totally funny, and you know, we'd go down, we just tear up the floor. We just love it. Like we just love to dance, right? It was our thing.
That's awesome. So you're at CPK. You've gone on. Let's move forward to where you've decided to become a fitness trainer. You've both gotten certified.
Yeah.
Tell me about when you decided to leave the full-time job and the full-time paycheck and the full-time security to go out on your own and wake up Monday morning and go, now what?
Exactly. So that was probably one of the scariest, again, and it's really kind of repeated through my life. Every time I've stepped through that door, and it was a scary door, like
being terrified
on the floor anymore. Like, well, I was a production auditor, so I was making good wage, and to have no guarantee paycheck was very scary. So I when people wanted me to train them, so I went back to school, got certified, and I thought, okay, I'm going to try part-time for the first year. So I worked full-time in the factory, and I worked as a personal trainer part-time in the morning. So I worked afternoon shift. Right. And at that time, things were really shifted in the automotive industry. I'd get laid off for a week here and there. I'm like, fine, I'll book up sessions. And that was looking great. Then I got laid off, and I booked up a whole bunch of sessions, and the factory called me back there and said, oh, something happened, you got to come back. I'm like, okay, actually you're costing me money now. I'm like, maybe it's time to reconsider what I want to do. Right. So I gave my 2 weeks notice, and off I went, and that was it. But the scary thing was I just given my notice, and it was really slick. It was winter, it was ice. And I'm coming out my stairs. I did one of those where you flip right over backwards and land on your ankle. God. And the ankle was like, I had a bad ankle for probably 8 months. And I'm laying on the ground going, oh my God, I just gave up all my security to do this, and I'm pretty sure my leg is broken.
I just busted my leg.
It was one of those moments. I was just like, oh my God. So I went to hospital, and it was at that time, wait lines were real long. And after about 5 hours, I stood up going, it's a miracle to heal. And I walked out. And so again, after a while, it still wasn't going down. I went to a doctor. He's like, you would have been better off breaking it, because it was such a bad sprain that,
right.
But it did eventually get better. And, I was fortunate enough to start my career. And because I just had done the Body for Life, and I did some bodybuilding magazines, so I ended up in some good promotions, and people saw our transformations, that a promo that went all across Canada and USA. So I was a model for the T2 fat burner at that time. It was one, you've seen those before and after pictures in magazines. So everybody had saw that I dropped this weight. They're like, wow, I want you to train me. So we went back, got educated, and I rolled into this career as a personal trainer. So after we left the first year, I did part-time, and then it was into full-time. And then I just kept adding to my repertoire, what I was doing, right?
Well, and as that sort of, as your clientele kind of starts to expand, you have to learn everything about how to be in business for yourself, from how to market yourself, how to client relations, accounting, taxes, business acquisition, all of that kind of stuff. Have you had any mentors along the way who have helped you guys and guided you in the right direction? Anybody that stands out for it?
Oh, you know what? I had some really good business people I worked with, it not really mentoring me, but they supported me and guided me a little bit. I said, maybe you should look at this or this or this. Like, Jim Proskus is one that stands out, and also like Al Blanc, Al Rose. So I had some really, this is more later in my, actually, Jim Proskus, funny enough, we actually met in the Body for Life Challenge. He did it too.
Oh, no
So
way.
that's how far we go back. Like he
Wow.
was probably the guy. If I had ever an issue or something I was trying to wrap my head around, I'd always kind of consult with Jim, and he would say, maybe you should look at this or this or this. And he was always kind of a really good support guy as far as that goes. But I've had some, I had some really good people. But again, you bumble your way through when you're starting out. Way back then, there wasn't really courses. Like the fitness industry was just, personal training was just on the uprise, right? So,
Right.
And it wasn't what it is today. And then I'm like, okay, what do I do now? If I look at the trainer I was then to now and how I've evolved, it's like the things I do now, I would have never considered 20 years ago, so.
I want to ask you a little bit about resiliency, and especially in your line of work, there is the competition. A is massive. B, I think with the explosion of online fitness communities, that's a whole new level of competition.
Yeah.
For people that might be starting out, or people that are looking at you and seeing your career from the outside in, what kind of challenges have you had to overcome over the years that you can think of, where that sort of built-in resiliency that you and Julie both have has really sort of pushed you to that next level?
Well, again, the fitness industry is really crazy, and it's very, in some cases, short. Like only 5% trainers last over 5 years, and they come and go pretty quick. And I've always been kind of open-minded to new opportunities and new concepts and how I could serve my clientele better. I'm one of those ones that I think I'm a student of life, and I've always been driving to try and improve the service, so I was be able to give my clients, the ultimate experience. And I think that's why my client retention's been there. Like I have clients today that have been training me since year one, right? And then there's more than one. So, but it's constantly moving forward, never staying the same, and always being open-minded to new techniques and trying to stay on top of your game.
I think one of the things that sets you guys apart as a team, with Team Avery, is obviously you guys train people of all levels of fitness, beginners right through to experts. When people approach you guys to join, to become part of the competition side, that want to enter in a fitness competition as a bodybuilder, a fitness professional, that kind of thing, do you have a screening process you go through with them, or get them, or prepare them for sort of what's coming down the pipe? Because I don't think most people understand how difficult it is to prepare for one of those shows.
No, and I think that's where a lot of it kind of comes up short. We have people that come in going, yeah, I really want to do this bodybuilding show. I'm like, well, how much do you lift? Well, I've never actually lifted. And I'm not saying we haven't done those clients. It definitely makes it harder. But I think it's very important that you should probably always have a couple of years experience under your belt before you ever kind of, again, you got to learn to walk before you can run. And then you're taking a big leap. If you're going from here and you're jumping all the way over there, you're missing a lot of stuff along the way that really helps you hone your skills and learn your body, right? So, and I'm not saying, we're more now, we try to guide people, but at the end of the day, it's their decision. We can't say you shouldn't, or you can't do the show. Of course, they can just register as they want, but we do try to guide people. But again, we have people that now with the 90-day challenge, that I was really happy when they introduced that, because that opened up a whole new opportunity for people that are truly novice, or people that really want to make that lifestyle change and improve their life, right?
What do you think is the biggest thing that stops people? Because like anybody that's been through that transformation, or anybody that's done a fitness regime for any length of time, the benefits are just layered upon layered of health benefits, mental benefits, strength benefits, emotional benefits. Like, what do you think it is that stops people once they get, because people would go, and then they stop, go, then they stop. I mean, you must see that every day.
Yeah. And I feel the same way. I'm like, okay, I'm going to make this month, I want to make this goal. But for me, it's really about signing up for that show, because it's like flip that switch. There's nothing more motivating than 4 ounces of spandex.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you can say it, but if you sign up for it, you get some skin in the game. You're Oh, right.
You
So
can't hide behind 4 ounces of
there's,
spandex.
especially, bodybuilding, there's very little give. So if anything's going to spill, it's going to spill. And then you get in front of 300 or 400 people. For me, that's motivating, right? Like not everybody is into that, but for me, it is. I think a lot of it, I'm big on goal planning. And I think you should always have a goal and a time destination, whether it's a bodybuilding show, and that's not for everybody, or a photo shoot or something like that. Like, I think that's a great way to do it, photo shoots. Like even you do it for yourself, say, okay, I'm going to set a date. I'm going to contact this photographer. I'm going to put up a deposit. So I have something in the game, right? So then you're committed. If you just kind of float around, you're never really going to cause change.
What's the most gratifying part for you and Julie with this kind of thing? Because success is, I think, in your business qualify as anybody that moves forward. It's not necessarily someone that dropped 90 pounds or whatever, but someone that's made the decision to step forward and make that shift, that change, to me is a success story. And I'm wondering, what's the gratification for you and Julie on that kind of day to day with your clientele and what you guys see?
Yeah, like so we've mentored a lot and helped a lot of people go on, and I don't really want just that 12-week change. I want to make that lifestyle change in them where they carry that for the rest of their lives. Like our goal really is to make the rest of your life the best of your life. And that's really what our focus is. And we can see people, being able to do stuff with their kids, get on the ground, not, and being having that agility. And that's one of the things is when you make that lifestyle change or that weight loss, that drop, that you find it, you're more agile. You're not bumping into walls and things. Like we've all been there. Like when you've been heavier, that wow, I can just move better. I can do, and then you can have that quality of life. And that's where you can see those improvements in people. And then there's the people like that we've mentored, like Alec Dudney, and there's several trainers that we've helped them. They've went on to become trainers themselves, right? Like, that's huge, right?
Yeah. Well, you and I used to joke about the fact that I remember saying to you one time when you and I were working, I'm like, dude, you got to figure out a way to duplicate yourself. Like there's one of you and a whole bunch of people that could benefit from what you're doing. And over the years, you've done that in various ways. I mean, you had a kettlebell program where you created a CD that was very successful for a kettlebell program. I took the class. If anybody has ever taken Dave's kettlebell class, there's a thing called Hell's Bells. I don't recommend it on day one, but it's the challenge that you put us through at the end of the class after what was 10 weeks, where he puts on AC/DC Hell's Bells, and then you have to do clean and snatches with your kettlebell and see how many you can do. And it was one of the most rewarding and horrifying things I've ever done in my life. But like you've come from, I think that adaptability that you were talking about before, like every step of the way from me looking on the outside in, I've watched you adapt your career and moving from having a simple website to developing a kettlebell program with a DVD to now you're moving into the app space. And I don't know if anybody else in this area has done anything close to what your new app has done, but how many, David and Julie have a fitness app now where you've learned to duplicate yourself, and how many exercise videos are up there? Because Julie just put a post up.
We just did one. I think we're reaching up to about 1,200 tutorial exercises videos. So so every step, it just opened another door. And you know what, when COVID first, I was already beta testing it during pre-COVID, and when COVID happened, I can't just sit. Like I'm like, it actually was kind of a therapy for me because it gave me something to focus on. So every day I come down here and we'd film for like an hour and a half to 2 hours. Then it'd take me another 3.5, 4 hours uploading because I'd have to do a written breakdown of every exercise put up onto the app. So in a way, it gave about 8 weeks straight. We filmed the very first getting it going. And because I would just write lists, okay, today I'm going to do all kettlebell exercises. Tomorrow I'm going to do all dumbbell exercises. And then all my fascial work, I started working with all the trigger point stretches and things like that. And then it just kind of took on a life of its own. I'm like, wow. And just the more I got into it, it just grew and grew and grew. And even now I know I have another 200 videos that I need to shoot that I haven't shot yet. So I suspect we will probably by end of the summer be well over 1,500 tutorial videos.
You know what's going to happen? You're going to turn into like the Netflix of fitness apps. People won't be able to get to the end of it.
Yeah. But which is great is everybody loves it so much, because if they don't say have that exercise or equipment at home, they can substitute and swap out a different exercise. So it's so versatile and so easy to use, and people just love it. So it's done really, really well. And I can see everything they do, and then I send them a virtual high five, or they can message me back and through the app. It's fantastic. Yeah.
That's fantastic, man.
I was training somebody in Mexico last week, so it was like funny.
Well, yeah, because now with the app, you have clients all over the world.
I got clients from coast to coast. So
That's awesome.
And it's like I have a whole new clientele that I never had. I was such a local, you only trained me one-on-one. I had paper. You saw my program; they're all paper. I don't even do paper anymore at all. Zero. I don't do paper. It's all.
Dude, my first thing you gave me a duotang.
Yeah.
A duotang, like from grade 7.
You know what's funny now? This is getting really dated. My programs used to be on a floppy disk. My clients' programs. That's how far back we go, buddy.
Yeah, we're talking like
I mean, not the hard floppy, the floppy.
Yeah, like the Commodore 64 floppies. That's
so
old
all my
school.
programs originally were like that, right? So, but this thing, have you ever made a playlist on like Apple Music or anything like that?
Yeah.
So it's just like I can literally click and drag an exercise or swap it, and I can do it on a spin. So I'm so much. It's basically Dave on demand.
Right.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure Julie would appreciate down the road too.
Yeah.
Hey, hon, can you come upstairs? We got some dinner to eat. That'd be great.
Yeah.
What's been the highlight of your career, or pick a highlight, I guess, because over the years, when you started to get into organizing and promoting and executing fitness shows, it's such an enormous undertaking, on top of what you're doing in your day-to-day business, and everything from the FAME organization to the UFE organization that you're currently working with now. Do you have any highlights that stick out from career that were either related to those shows or just your career in general, as you look back on stuff? Anything that you look back on fondly and go, that was really cool?
Of course, like winning train of the year, that was so fantastic, and being recognized by Can't Fit Pro, by the organization itself. So yes, really by your peers, is really recognizing your work and what you've done. That was huge. And it's been a great career up to this point, and we've just evolved so much. And every time we add something, I think the biggest thing that really I'm so proud of is that we've made ourselves so versatile, because we didn't really dabble in a million things, but we mastered several revenue streams. So we didn't put everything into one balance. You know what I mean? So from fascia work to kettlebell to trigger point to, I'm never stopping. There's, I have plans of more education down the road that really, I want to be able to really help my clients in whatever they require, right? Or be able to direct them.
And you've made a huge investment in the facial stretch therapy program, and now I think you've finished two levels now, three.
So I finished my last one, and I went to Arizona. It's the only place that you can get your level 3 to train with the inventors of the program.
Wow.
And it's as far as you can go. And so it was kind of one of those things that I kind of fell into it, and then I kind of came around it in a roundabout way. I thought it was a book, and then I thought it was a course, and it's both. And then as I started getting into it, it was kind of like I'm going down that rabbit's hole. I'm like, I got to know more. I can't stop. I need to know more, right? And I seen huge improvements, and often clients and I would train, I'd be referring to chiro or to physio, and it always wasn't a skeletal system or a skeletal problem. It was more of a fascia problem, a tracking problem. And now I see in an hour results that just blow me away, that I can't believe that.
Explain to people what that is, Dave, when you talk about, like, obviously when you mentioned skeletal problems with chiro and physio and things like that, that's something involving your bone structure. But with the type of therapy that you're doing now, because I've seen some of the results you posted online, and the results can be pretty shocking in a short period of time. Like, what's the philosophy behind it? What exactly is it, and what does it do?
So you have 10 levels of fascia. It goes from skin to muscle to ligament to bone to joint, all the way down through. Again, your first experience, you don't really need to go that deep. It's really, really advanced stretching, two-way stretching, where you have all these nets that intertwine. Again, a problem in your ankle or a scar or anything, or a tracking problem, can cause a problem into your shoulder because it works double helix, right? So you get tracking and congestion and jammed up. So you get glue, then you get thickening, then you get blocks of fascia where it's like rock. And often you'll get a full fascial release. And again, I'm not adjusting. Adjustments sometimes happen, but only because I'm stretching you. And then it goes kind of back in position. It's similar to Thai massage, except for Thai, there's no P and F patterns. That's where if I was stretching you and then you push into me, I go a little further. So we engage that new range of motion, and it's not painful. It's somewhat uncomfortable at times, but mostly it's like afterwards you feel like $1 million.
Dude, I can't touch my toes.
Well, after we get that, and after I'm done, you palm the floor.
Right.
That happens. And like I was just working on my son Andrew because these kids are all like crunched over now, and we're trying to. His back is sore, and and I know myself. I'm like, I can't wait till things clear up because I'd love to get to Toronto and have one of my colleagues work on me. Because actually, when I went to Arizona, I walked in injured because I blew up my back a couple of weeks before the UFE World Championships, and I walked in there injured. And after day one, I was fixed up, man.
Wow.
It was like, oh my God, I just felt like I was popped right back in. It was great. Yeah.
Well, you mentioned your kids, Andrew and Laurel. Now, I've watched them kind of grow up over the years. And before we started recording, you said Laurel is finishing school now?
Yeah, well, she's done. She's went to college once, finished, and now she's back for taking more for massage therapy. So she's a couple months from graduating, and then she'll have to write her government exam. I figure by October or November, when they're a little bit backlogged right now, but yeah, and then she'll be into her career.
And how old's Andrew now?
Andrew is turning 16 in November. He's taller than me now. Unbelievable.
Come on, dude. 16?
Well, he's 50. He'll be 60 in November, but pre-COVID, he was shorter than me. He's now taller than me.
Right.
And he reminds me every day. He's like, yeah, shorty. Like,
I'm sure he does. My kids are the same way too. My sons will come up and do this on me. They put their chin on the top of my head.
Oh yeah, he tries. He likes to put me. Yeah, I'm like, yeah.
Actually, before we go, I wanted to quickly hit on the pandemic and the impact where the fitness industry got shut down day one. Like, here we go. Your ability to create income got shut down. So you immediately went to work on the app stuff. What other things have you been able to do, or have you learned through the pandemic that have sort of changed the fitness industry? The app is obviously one of them, but what are the things or how have you seen the fitness industry change?
Well, definitely online is for a lot of people have been devastated and really destroyed, including myself. Like, I lost my place of business, so I had to totally switch things around and figure out how I was going to move forward in my career. And I'm like, wow, what are we going to do now? And so again, the app was the first thing for me. It was pretty early on. Like, fortunately, I had the insight to already start kind of planning this, and maybe a lot of luck. But it was just, the timing was right, and it changed everything for me, and it gave me that opportunity to help people. Again, now if I'm here, but I can train anybody anywhere. Because before, people would come up to me going, "Can I just get a program? I'm in Saskatchewan." I'm like, "Well, yeah, but when you send a PDF, you know what happens to that, right?" Like, right. So and then I'd often be on the phone and trying to walk them through the exercise, and they never really get it. Where now with the app, I never have to call people up, explain the exercise, because they can go over that video as much as they want. And it's not a whole anatomy lesson. It's just basically going through the proper form technique, so they know exactly what they got to do. And then I can look and see all their weights and everything they've done. And then I can say, "Hey, what's going on here? You missed this or that," or, hold them accountable. And that's what they love. They love the accountability, right? But a lot of people have had to recreate, but a lot of gyms have had to close, and there's no way for them to pivot, right? So in a lot of cases, it's so many of my friends in Toronto and in bigger cities that have full gyms I've seen shut down. And again, even to get fitness, I had people that literally didn't have any equipment. Like, Dave, I want to train, but I got nothing. I said, well, okay, we're going to film. So I went to over here to the grocery store, and I got 10-pound bag of potatoes. I threw them in a gym bag, and I filmed 40 exercises on that.
Right.
So I'm
With
like,
potatoes.
and so me and Julie were filming. I'm going, darn, 10 pounds of potatoes is tough, man. Like I was pretty spent. So, and then we started buying a lot of resistance bands and stuff like that don't take up a lot of room, because you really couldn't even get weights. It was like,
Right.
by the time people were trying to get fitness equipment, we were where toilet paper was.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like people were trying to charge $100 for a 20-pound dumbbell, and
Oh,
you couldn't get it.
you try and look for that stuff online, and you're right. Like a kettlebell was $200. Like it was insane.
So I probably bought like 40 packs of bands that all snap together, and they stack up to 150 pounds in tension. And believe it or not, you get a decent workout with them. Like don't knock the bands. You get they can still cause some pretty good change. And
Right.
Yeah.
You were going to say damage rate.
Well, no, but I mean, you know me too well, but yeah, you can really, it's a great workout, and you don't need, yeah, I'm pretty for, you don't need all of this to get a good workout. You really don't. We definitely invested in the studio here now, because this is my sole location. So I've invested probably close to $20,000 in new equipment. So to move forward in what I do. Yeah.
Well, listen, man. First of all, thanks for doing this, because I know you've got like 3 other appointments after this. And I really appreciate your time. I love hearing your story and sort of your backstory of how you got to where you are today. And I hope people get a little bit more insight into how you and Julie have gotten to where you are today, and how you've continued to adapt over the years. And if people want more info or want to find out about the app, what's the best way to find you?
Just go to our website. You can actually download the app directly right from our website. If you go to teamavery.ca, which is my buddy Ken Bergen just put that up here, our new website, a little bit ago. But a lot of the credit, I think, should be given to Julie. She was actually the one who steered me and kind of been my biggest fan and my biggest support. And we were supposed to go to Vegas in November and celebrate our 25th wedding anniversary, which kind of got kiboshed because of COVID, right? So, but it's really is when people ask me all the time, and I say, "What are you doing?" I'm like, living the dream. And really, even with COVID, as bad as it's been, I have a fantastic family and fantastic home life, and I'm still head over heels for my wife, right? I live a wonderful life.
Congratulations, buddy. That's a great note to end on. And as things start to open up, I hope people get a chance to come and check out your new facility, because you keep adding to it. I don't know. You're gonna have to put an addition on your house or something soon.
I know. Well, luckily I train a couple of builders. I keep in there like, this is build. It's like, not the price right now, man. I can't afford a new house. But, yeah.
Well, listen, man, continued success, and hopefully we can check in person real soon when things start to open up here. So thanks for your time, brother. I really appreciate it.
No problem. Great talk to you.